Hello, my beautiful rock stars. It's your girl Rocqi, your revolutionary hippie from LifeIsRocqi. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Whew! Well, it's Women's History Month. Apparently, it was International Women's Day, which I didn't know about. And then it was also the National Day of Rest for Black Women. So, shout out to the women. But with that, definitely check out my Becoming a Feminine Woman series. It was kind of my journey in discovering what womanhood meant to me. Also, what I wanted to teach my daughter about womanhood. For more of that, towards that, it's Mommy Fever playlist. Check that one out. But yeah, when I was approaching my 30s, I was like, who am I as a woman? What does this mean to be a woman, right? And the manosphere was hot at that point, and it really made me assess women relationally, specifically when we are partnered with cis het males and or men, and it can be harsh towards women who don't want to grow, first off, but it's hard to hear about yourself when there's so much that could be said about men, right? But at that point, again, I was going into my 30s. Like, I know who I am, but who am I as a woman? And then I was going to get married. So who am I going to be as a wife? And then I knew I was going to have kids. So who am I going to be as a mother? So I was really questioning and growing within myself at that point, including relationally. But the reason I never made a specific video regarding men and how they could be better and improve was because to me it was like simple. Don't be a dick. Like, it's really that simple. Like, don't be a dick, you know? Whereas, like, women, there's layers and stuff as far as our growth is considered. Whereas men, it's like, stop being an asshole, you know? Like, the things that you do to women. Like, why is this even a conversation? Why does it have to be a conversation, you know? But apparently it does need to be. So, I went to my husband, and I was like, these are my thoughts. But I do want to take a moment to break it down of how men could be better for those who are genuinely interested. And it was interesting, the insight that he shared from the perspective of a man who lives in the same system that women do, but also tried to grow and improve and be a better man, especially in relation to women. So he gave me some things like I was aware of, but it gave validation to the necessity of them. So let me clarify. First and foremost, what's the issue? Why are men fucked up? Well, when I have domestic violence victims as well as sexual trauma survivors as clients, because I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, and most of my clients are women, and most of them have experienced sexual trauma, unfortunately. Again, men, stop being a dick. Like, what the... Anyways, the issue is, or a strategy that I go over with them, is something called the power and control wheel. Just to give you some clarity on what goes on that wheel, it's minimizing, denying, and blaming. It's coercion and threats, using intimidation, emotional abuse, which could be name calling or putting someone down, economic abuse, like financial abuse, as well as male privilege, where you basically mansplain everything and you are the one making the ultimate decisions and her voice doesn't matter, things like that. So that's the power and control wheel that I go over with those clients. And it's understanding the power and control that exists in the patriarchal system that we live in, right? So that was my first thing of like, why are men dicks? It's because of power and control. Now, pushing further than that of a desire for power and control, there's also ego, which is your sense of self. There's also pride and entitlement. Those are issues as well. And I think the next things I'm going to go into are how to not have a desire for power and control in a way that hurts other people, or not be caught up in your ego and pride and feel entitled to things. Just basically how to bring it down so you're not hurting someone else, right? So the first thing I talked about with my husband was expressing feelings without shame and having a safe space, because you have to remember, we grew up, like, therapy just got normalized by the millennial generation, right? That's new, right? So emotional intelligence wasn't talked about. It was little boys don't cry, you know? And furthermore, if you black, it was, you better stop crying before I give you something to cry about, you know? So regardless, we shutting it down, okay? But more than that, boys and men especially weren't given the space to be vulnerable. They didn't have a safe space, right? They were told to shut it down. And then the only emotion that was given space was anger. That was the only emotion that they were allowed to feel, right? So then you need healthy ways to release that anger. Anger is a valid emotion. It's saying that we're not okay with something that is happening. It's usually a secondary emotion. It's masking something else going on that we may feel insecure to feel. We may not feel safe or vulnerable to express it. But anger is what's showing up presently. But we also need healthy ways to release that anger. So exercise is a great one. They have those rage rooms now where you can break shit. Screaming into a pillow, you know. Exercise, boxing, going for a run, something to get that physical energy out. But hitting other people, especially women, ain't okay, right? Yelling, shouting, none of that is okay. You need to, your emotions are your responsibility, and you need to find ways to not only release them in a healthy way, but also understand your triggers, and then understand that you need to go manage your emotions, right? So not only did we not give them space to feel, we also didn't give them language around emotions. We also didn't give validation for them having emotions. We didn't teach them any tools for how to manage their emotions. Black little girls didn't get that either. But again, we coming into a new era. And shout out to all the black men who are going to therapy and are doing the work and are becoming emotionally intelligent. Shout out to all of you. And I'm glad that there is that movement, and there is hold on. Sorry, someone's coming in the room. I'm trying to hear. If it's the trash people. Yeah, I think it was. Have any trash in here? Okay. But anyways, yeah, so they didn't have space for that, and they didn't have tools, right? And yeah, shout out to the men who are going to therapy and doing the work, but also who are doing the work relationally as well. I think Black women are definitely coming to therapy and doing work in relation to sexual trauma, is relation to family trauma. But how to be a better partner isn't necessarily a goal in therapy, I've noticed, with Black women, whereas Black men it is. So women, again, some work to do, and shout out to the men who are doing that work, right? Another point that my husband made is to acknowledge your powerlessness and that being validated, because especially as Black men, you are up against white men, you know, as well as any other man, honestly. Black men are at the lowest of the low, and the Black women are lower than them. So, you know, we feel you, brothers. Like, we feel the powerlessness. Oh, that's a word. And that's valid. However, and I do see this when I watch like older films where, you know, racism was harsher, and the black fathers, the black husbands would take it out on their wives, and it's like, or kids. And just because you were frustrated with the system that you live in, because you're powerless in that system, doesn't mean you get to take that out on anybody else, especially the people you're supposed to claim that you love and care for, right? And then this goes to the last point of that you don't gain power and respect through abuse, right? Like, I shouldn't be saying that word, but just because you taking it out on your wife, don't give it to you, right? Like, you don't automatically get this power from white people that you're so seeking. So I would question that piece. Like, I understand surviving in the system, but to me, I don't want the acceptance of our colonizers. I want to be able to do our own thing and be left the fuck alone. Okay. So, gain power in our community, gain power with black women, and yeah, because black women are doing the damn thing, right? So it's okay to be connected and communal. And I remember watching Madam C.J. Walker's biopic series with Octavia Spencer, love her, on Netflix. And that one, gender discrimination never was like a thing that I prioritized in my fighting for different causes, just because I was black first, and that kind of took precedent. It wasn't until I was at a HBCU and in majority black spaces that I started to recognize the gender discrimination, because it was like my blackness could take a back seat for a sec. And then I could see the issues we have with black men. Now, right now, obviously, hot topic is relationships with black men and black women. That's the big thing. But I was also just seeing some of that power and control. Like, my father, he was letting me do what I wanted to do throughout my adolescence, and then come adulthood, he's suddenly having certain rules for me as a woman, and I was like, hold the fuck up. You ain't raised me like this, and I'm not gonna listen to you. So I actually cut him off for a very long time. So, like, yeah, like, I don't play that, but I started recognizing it more. And then also, like, the shame on women sexually, and I see that a lot within the polyamorous community, not from actual polyamorous men, but from polygynous men, because polygamy and polyamory are two different things, and their view of women, right? Like, I'm sex positive, so the negativity that's put specifically on women embracing our sexuality is an issue for me, and that's something I recognized in college as well. But anyways, that's a whole nother video. Let me know if you want a video on that. Wait, I feel like I've done a video on that, and I think it was like something sexual liberation or sex positivity, sexual liberation or empowerment, something like that. It's in the Becoming a Feminine Woman series. But yeah, if we doing the damn thing, it's okay to collab. It's okay to be interdependent. Like, we're not meant to do this shit alone, right? And if you need the help of a woman, that's okay. We're detail oriented, we're organizers, we're planners. It's okay. We're the most educated demographic. It's okay. If you want to gain power within our community, not dependent on our colonizers, but with the help of black women. Oh, and I was talking about Madam C.J. Walker. Like, the fact that women weren't allowed to do so many things, and black men had such a negative view of black women, and they were like, we will never get ahead if our women get ahead. And it's like, again, you kowtow to the colonizer for what? Like, I don't abide by that. But so they can view you as a man, fuck their definition of manhood, first off. Because also, we need to establish, every gender, no matter the gender, needs to be balanced in their masculinity and femininity. It's yin and yang. It's outside of humanity. Okay, we have the sun, we have the moon, we have the summer, we have winter, we have these different duality of energies within us, and you are out of balance within your mind, body, and spirit if you are not connecting to that. So men, yes, that means embracing your feminine energy. That means your emotional intelligence. That means your relationships. That means your communication. That means you resting as well. Women, I'm also talking to you, because we be excelling in the masculine energy, but we forget because we reject the feminine, and it's rest is a part of that, right? But anyways, that's a larger conversation. Again, check out my Becoming a Feminine Woman series for more information on that. But yeah, that's my tips on how men can be better and not a dick. It's let go of the power and control, especially over others, and have safe spaces to be vulnerable, to express your feelings. And then, especially with other Black men, I love when Black men get together and be vulnerable together. Like, my husband has a best friend he's grown up with since maybe middle school, and they're still friends today. And like, I love their brotherhood, and I haven't seen that actually. Like, my dad didn't have any close male friends, period. But yeah, it's beautiful to see that. When my husband goes to Black father spaces or just Black men spaces, it's beautiful to see y'all come together and be for each other. Not in a Black space, because Black women need our own spaces too. But yeah, for y'all to come together and support each other is definitely needed and healing, right? But yeah, stop trying to get acceptance from a white man and build your own, because then can't nobody take power away from you. And then we also need to assess power, because it's power capitalism. That's a whole nother video. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think men could do to be better? How do you think they could be better in relationships? I think my next video is going to be about weaponizing competence. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And oh, my black bye for today, I am Black History, is from Power in Black, sorry. Power in Black. It's a new brand that I'm now investing in. They make graphic tees, and that's part of my style. So yeah, this is from them. I got one other shirt, and I will be getting more. And then it says, yeah, I am Black History, because I am past, present, and future, baby. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. And as always, take care of you. Light and love.